I guess I gotta talk about it. I guess I have to talk about it. I fucking hate Suicide Squad. And I bet some of you would be like, oh, Larry, you just probably hate it because, you're a part of that bandwagon group that just hates the new DC films. That is beside the point. In fact, that's not even true. I believe it or not, I actually was more hyped for this movie than Batman vs. Superman. And whenever I watch Batman vs. Superman, I started having zero faith in this movie. Well, not zero faith. I had zero, what's the word I'm looking for? I just used it. Hype. I had, no hype for this movie after Batman vs. Superman. But I was still interested to go see it. It looked like Guardians of the Galaxy done by DC, and, hey, that might sound like an interesting concept. Here's the problem with that. I actually liked Batman vs. Superman. It's not a good movie. I'll be honest, it's not. But it was fun. As much fun as a dark, brooding, stupid movie can be. No fun really was in Batman vs. Superman, but there's some good scenes in it, and I actually genuinely had fun. In fact, many people criticize Jesse Eisenberg's performance of Lex Luthor. There are some points where I think it's terrible, but overall I thought it was a very interesting take. But then Suicide Squad came along, and it was fucking terrible. I had zero expectations for this movie at this point. I was gonna come in with a clean slate. After Batman vs. Superman, I kinda got the gist of what they were gonna do with these things. And, well, the one positive thing I can say is, it's not exactly like Batman vs. Superman. As in, somehow, although no fun was in Batman vs. Superman that really much, there was zero fun in fucking Suicide Squad in a movie that looked like it was fun the first trailer. What the fuck? It was really stupid. Just watching the movie, I almost shut this movie off 3 times while watching it. I almost did. I just fucking hated this movie so much. Now, granted, I have shut off movies before, but mostly due to time constraints. I've never fully completed Star Trek, the 2009 reboot version. I still have yet to finish that movie. But it's mostly due to time and just lack of interest that much. I mean, I've heard some positive things, and one day I hope to actually give it a shot. Just J.J. Abrams did well with Star Wars. I kind of want to see what he does with Star Trek. Maybe it'll get me into Star Trek. But fucking Suicide Squad is the one movie I really wanted to shut it off, but I just was so intrigued in it that I guess I just fucking kept going. I've been practicing what to say, but I just, somehow now I'm on the spot and it's kind of difficult. My god, well, what exactly, most people always talk about the positives in their first part of the video. Number one, what are some positives? Okay, well, Captain Boomerang's actually kind of a interesting character. Surprising. Fucking Captain Boomerang. If this movie was Kite Man, I would fucking tell you that it would work. It probably would work. Because, I don't know, just enough asshole in him, but it's not a really weird, psychopathic asshole kind of thing. It's just that. The El Diablo whole thing. I like his character, and I like that he tries not being a villain, and he tries not killing anybody. And why he doesn't, there's an actual good story behind it. And very interesting, and actually I wish kind of there was more to that. I don't know, make El Diablo an own character in one of the DC films, the main villain, quote unquote. What else did I like? There were some scenes with Enchantress that I thought was actually interesting. Mostly for the scenes of that Dr. June. I'm surprised I actually remember that name. Dr. June and Enchantress switch. The one in the Pentagon, or the whatever the hell, an official building, where, Enchantress sneaks under Dr. June and switches over to the Enchantress. I thought that scene was cool looking. But the rest of it's just, oh boy. Then after that, I really don't have any likes. what I hated about this movie. Everything else, really. I really fucking hated everything else. But this first criticism is just something I hate the least. It was Will Smith's performance of Deadshot. Now here's the thing. I should mention this right now. I'm not that well versed in the DC Comics lore. I'm more of a Marvel kind of guy. And I have been for the last many years. I'm not saying DC is a terrible franchise or anything, and honestly, it's not at all. There's some really good characters in there. And some that I think are really good, some that I think is flawed. Some, DC Comics has a hero for anybody. And the villains actually are my favorite thing about DC Comics, which honestly is the biggest fucking disappointment to me. Because there's the Joker, there's Bane, there's the Penguin, there's all these like not cool villains that the DC Comics have. And I like those over Marvel villains, which kind of just seem like the gimmicks. Granted, DC Comics had a lot of weird villains like Kite Man and Captain fucking Boomerang. But overall, yeah, whatever. I just like the villains more, because either they're really thought out or they're just really stupid. Marvel kind of is like, it's really stupid or they're thought out, and there are a few well thought out ones. My favorite villain from Marvel is Magneto. But I think the heroes shine better over at Marvel, in my opinion. Now, that's my personal opinion. But the villains in Suicide Squad, I was talking about Deadshot. Deadshot is played by Will Smith. Now here's the problem with how he performs it. It's Will Smith playing himself if he had a gun. Now, I think that would be a cool movie. I don't know, a spin-off of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it really doesn't work because he's a villain. You really shouldn't make villains likable, specifically the fucking psychopaths in this movie. It really does not help at all about this movie. It's like, I'm not saying this movie shouldn't, normalize psychopaths because, well, honestly, it should. But I understand there's some people with disabilities and they could probably find something to relate on this in this movie. Like, the Heathen song by fucking Garbage 21 Pilots. Really stupid song, and the most cringiest line from there is just like, you don't know what they've been through, is really fucking stupid. They're fucking psychopaths. And I know I'm critiquing the song of the movie, but I really hate that song, and I hate hearing it on the radio. But, because it's so fucking like 2009, or whenever 7th grade was for any fucking body. This movie is the Hot Topic movie. I know that comment has been flown around everywhere. It really is. Honestly, sometimes it's not even the Hot Topic movie. It's the Spencer's movie. Because I actually went to Spencer's recently, and they sold fucking Harley Quinn Daddy's Little Monster thing. I will get to Harley Quinn in a fucking minute, but Jesus Christ. Deadshot. I'm sorry I'm everywhere. This is kind of like a new thing to me. We've been going on for a while. Anyway, so, what time? Okay, we're cool. Fucking Deadshot is that, like, his motivation for killing people is, I'm talking about the backstory right now. The motivation to Deadshot is that he needs the money for his daughter. I can't relate to that. I really cannot sit there and say, I understand this character's troubles. Stealing money for your daughter from a bank, I can get. I honestly, honest to God, can understand that. It's like that kind of Robin Hood approach thing. But killing people to get money for your daughter. No, you don't. No, that's not right. That's not normal. That's fucking weird. I'm not saying there aren't people out there that do that. And I understand that there's some people's like, I would kill for my daughter. Yeah, but that's kind of a hypothetical thing. And I don't know. I'm just drawing that in. It's just, they try to normalize this movie. They try to make you say, oh, don't worry. They're like you. No, they're not. I'm sorry. Unless you're like a fucking death row inmate that's killed, has committed massacres, has committed school shootings or something like that, I don't relate to any of these characters. I really don't. Because even Captain Boomerang and El Diablo they've done bad choices. El Diablo, actually, I'll give a break, because he does all this shit for the family. He sells these drugs, and from what I can remember, And yeah, it's kind of like Deadshot, but he's not killing anybody in the process. I could be wrong. There might be some scenes where he does kill people for money. Like I said, it's kind of a Deadshot kind of thing. Captain Boomerang just steals banks. And whenever he finally tried one in America, the Flash caught him. Some of you might be like, oh, Larry, why did you not like the cameos by Batman and Flash? First off, let me just say this. I actually have no hope for the Flash. Because in the first Justice League trailer, I could not stand him. Now, granted, here's the thing. Oh, that's just a smidgen of what he's going to become. You're going to like him in the movie. The thing about trailers is supposed to be your first look at the movie and like your first impressions of the movie. It shouldn't be the most annoying thing in my life. I don't want to go to a movie. That's like looking at the trailers and seeing Jar Jar Binks having a 2-minute argument with like Qui-Gon Jinn, and that's the trailer, and you're like, oh, don't worry, Jar Jar's gonna be cool. No, he's fucking not. But yeah, it's just, I don't like the Flash, but what smidgen of a thing he was in was okay. He only said a line, he just showed up with lightning bolts everywhere. Bolts everywhere, and it's just like, okay, cool. And Batman, I actually really like Ben Affleck as the Batman. But the thing about this one is just like there are some cool scenes with Batman. Like him beating up Deadshot. And him beating punching Harley Quinn right in the fucking face. Underwater. Those are cool. The last scene in it is just like, we already saw this. It was just basically, where are the other guys? And it's just like, don't you have like a map or something about that already? So, Batman. They're so cool. There's some good scenes with it, but it's just like overshadowed by the fact that it's like stuff we already know about. The fact that the Batman knows Joker and Deadshot, that actually is pretty cool. But the last scene, I'm not saying negates or deletes the other scene. Well, not deletes, just overshadows the other scenes. It's just like, it was kind of mandatory to have Batman, and it just seemed like a last-minute thing. Granted, in the trailer, Batman was on the Joker car, but the rest of it just seemed stupid. Speaking of Deadshot, the motivation, like I said, is his daughter. The daughter character. Oh my god. I've seen child actors. And I've seen wood. A plank of wood could have done a better job than the girl they got. I sat there and I was like, am I watching a school play? And then after the whole movie, I was just like, no, her character... I want to apologize to child actors in school plays. They do miles better than this fucking kid that I think they just honestly found off the streets. And I don't mean that in a homeless way. I just mean like literally they were on the street and they're like, hey, you want to be in a movie? Yeah, sure. Okay, can you act? No, not really. Cool. I don't care. Just get in here. Meeting Will Smith. It's just really, really takes away this whole thing whenever there's no motivation behind this character and no motivation in her lines. You just sit there like, I'm supposed to fucking care? And, yeah. So Deadshot, it just like, yeah, he's cool, but it's just Will Smith. He's not being Deadshot. He's just being Will Smith that with a gun. And it's just not that great. And then there comes like, I think I was talking about El Diablo, who has this kind of motivation. Captain Boomerang has this kind of motivation. Killer Croc. Killer Croc was actually something I thought was going to be an interesting addition. The thing about Killer Croc is like, he fucking eats people. And, they're going to try to make you like, oh, you should feel bad for him because, they fucking did this to him. They treated him like a monster, so he became a monster. I guess? But just like, still eats people? Like, why the fuck? Why is there a sensible person who does that? In this time and age, we try our best to like help people like that out. And I understand Waylon Jones. Hey, I'm surprised I actually remember the name of Killer Croc. It's just like Killer Croc. People, was it a mutation? It's been a while. I remember the Arkham Asylum game and him making me pee my pants. But it's just like, this is still a person. This was still once a person. And I don't know. It's like, I always remember like the documentaries of the guy who had all the fungus growth and everything, and he became basically a walking tree. And, you know, people really tried caring for that. Killer Croc, no, nothing. They're not gonna figure out what the fuck's up with him. They're not gonna do anything. Just feed him fucking half a fucking pig. That kind of shit. And it's just like, I honestly feel like I should treat him like this, but I shouldn't because he'll fucking eat me. And there's a line in this where someone called Harley, I think, called him ugly, like an ugly son of a bitch, and then he said, "Nah, I'm beautiful on the inside." I'm like, can you fucking not? It's just like, you eat people, you fucking are a criminal. Not a lot of judgment to go on it. You're trying to normalize this. You're trying to like, oh, we should feel bad for this. No, you should not feel bad for a guy who eats people. No, I don't care. I'm already dumbfounded at fucking Killer Croc. So, what's another Enchantress. Honestly, the villain of the movie. And Dr. June, like I said, this is actually an interesting character. She's like, she accidentally fell in a cavern, messed with a thing. Now she's got infused with a witch. She has like all these problems, and you know, every once in a while the witch comes out and gives her the spook and makes her do things she doesn't want to do. That's an interesting concept, and overall it's done well. Cara Delevingne, I should say, all the actors in this movie are, from what I heard, incredible actors. And yes, I can guarantee, like I said, Will Smith is a really great actor. And Margot Robbie, fucking Cara Delevingne, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Really everybody in this movie can act, and they're really good at it. But it's just like, I guess they were just told, do whatever the fuck you want. And it's really weird, and it doesn't work well. But, comes in, El Diablo. I keep going back to El Diablo, because like I said, it's like the one good character in this movie that you, like, genuinely feel bad for. Katana is not a villain at all, and it's just sorry, I have to adjust myself. Katana is, like, literally thrown in halfway through this movie, and I couldn't care less about anything. Because they shoehorned in her exposition. It's just like, this is Katana! I wouldn't get killed by her! Her sword keeps everyone's souls when you die! It's like, maybe introduce this earlier. I've heard maybe the extended cut adds some stuff. By the way, this is based on the theatrical run. Now, Larry, I can imagine some of you like, well, you should watch the extended cut. It fixes everything. I'm watching this as the average American moviegoer that, let's just say, doesn't want to buy a Blu-ray and doesn't want to watch this a second time. And if I do want to watch this a second time, I'll probably pick the cheaper alternative. I don't really think, like, oh, an extended version will make me want to buy it anymore. Now, I did it over Christmas, get that, and my parents didn't get the memo. I didn't like this movie. Granted, they bought this before I watched this movie on DVD, and they felt, I was just like, look, I'm sorry, I don't really like this movie, but I'll keep this because I don't like getting rid of Christmas gifts. And it's the extended cut, so if I ever want to give this movie another shot, I could watch this, but from what I've heard, it changes nothing. Like, nothing is added or anything. All you get is more Joker scenes, and I'll explain why that's a bad idea in a minute. So, sorry. I've been talking so long, I don't have a drink or anything, and I don't think I want to try Germ-X. So Katana is just thrown in there, and you're supposed to, I don't know, there's some scenes where she's like, it's like, husband, sorry for making that sound racist about an Asian character, but it's just, I honestly couldn't figure out what the fuck she said, and I know she's probably saying Japanese. If not, it's gibberish. And, you know, she's like, husband, one day I'll meet you again, or something like that. You're trapped in the sword, and then, like, it's just, it's like, if this character was introduced ahead of the movie, like, I don't know, capture one of the villains, this would have been okay. And maybe, like, has a whole scene about how she captured the person, how the story's told. Because, like, they give all these case studies for some of the characters in the beginning, and it's just like, man, I wish... And some of them get longer than the others. Like, Killer Croc was probably 10 seconds. Captain Boomerang, a minute just to have that Flash cameo. El Diablo, I think also, like, a few seconds. Harley Quinn, 10 minutes, or 5 to 10 minutes. You know, when we really fucking want it. And the Deadshot, it's 5 as well. I might be over exaggerating a bit. It just felt like it was that long. And oh my god, it's just like all these characters, and you could barely give a fuck about them. It really is that. You just almost don't care what happens to these characters at all, because you're almost not even given the opportunity. Okay, here's something, and this may go a little bit off topic. I watched Rogue One twice in the theater, and I still can't remember the two names of the two Asian guys. I really can't. I know how one of them is spelled. Chirrut? I don't know how to pronounce that. But honestly, I don't think that even was said in the movie, and if it did, it was real quick. Wait, was it? No, it was announced. It was said in the movie. But the problem with the thing about these characters, not really a problem. These are new characters. We've never seen these characters before. And we know nothing about them. Except for the basic, plot outline they give us in pre-production and, promotional material. They're like, okay, this is Jen Erso. She is this. And this is Mads Mikkelsen's character, Galen Erso. This is her father, built the Death Star plans. This is Cassian. I don't remember his last name. He's a fucking rebel pilot. Not a rebel pilot. He works for the rebels. He kills people every once in a while. This is K2SO. This is a fucking Imperial droid. This shit like that. And it's well explained. I left the Rogue One movie, and I could remember everyone's character traits. Because I know some people critique the fact that they almost got no backstory, or almost too, like, there you go, there's the characters. That's the same way Suicide Squad. And these are characters everyone knows. Killer Croc, you could probably know about that. Fucking Harley Quinn and the Joker, you know about those two. Deadshot, it's kind of there. Captain Boomerang, no one fucking knows who Captain Boomerang is. El Diablo, same thing. Enchantress, same thing. Now, I say those last three things because no one knows them. But, I'm a DC Comics fan. I know all about them. I'm like once again saying, this is the average American moviegoer. And that really is all I am. Watching these movies and just trying to watch them without really any critical view. I'll go into the movie just to have fun. I went to Ghostbusters this year, and I thought it was an okay movie, because I had no expectations walking into this movie. There were some scenes where I said, God, shut the fuck up. But there were scenes where I'm like, that was kind of funny. That was the whole movie. But that was a fun movie. Suicide Squad, I had zero expectations once again, but Jesus Christ, there was nothing fun about it. In a movie that was more fun. That was marketed as more fun. And fuck, man. I'm running out of breath. The other two characters that, not really supervillains. What supervillains? Sorry. Or, I don't even remember the fucking names. I don't, it's the military guy and Viola Davis. I do not remember the names whatsoever. But, Viola Davis's character is just really fucking mean for no reason. He's just where does this all come from? Is there some kind of tragic backstory with her character? Is she just a bitch on purpose? Once again, I'm saying this as like an outsider to the DC Comics. And I bet you DC Comics fans like, oh, if you read the comics, you would know. If you knew this character. A movie should explain this shit to you. It may sound like, oh, I need to be fed stuff. But you're just like you're just showing these characters, and you don't really know why they're doing this. And what characters they do explain, yeah, it works, sorta. It's just really fucking dumb, I'll be honest. The soldier guy, he's okay. I mean, there's some scenes where I just think, God fucking damn it, shut up. That's literally most of the characters. Could you shut the fuck up? Or there's some scenes where it's just like, honestly, no, I think he's a dumb character. All he's there is to remind everybody, like, hey, if you don't do this shit, I'm blowing your head right the fuck off. And it's just like, well, I guess we don't do that. And, okay. And I'll get to the character that demonstrates this in a second. But, like, also the military guy is dating fucking Enchantress, or the Dr. June. And that's cool. That is actually cool. And, he stays around her to make sure nothing bad happens. And if something bad happens, they poke her hard. Okay, that's kind of dumb. Whatever. Life goes on. But overall, I thought that was a cool idea. If that's an actual thing that happens in the comics, cool. But if it's just like this weird last-second ship thing, where it's just like... The romance is barely... Like, I think if you had, like, one more minute, you could flesh out their romance more. Because from what I remember in the movie, it's just the guy finds her in the bathtub, and she's like, help me! And then Viola Davis is like, and just what I thought, they're banging. And, like, the next scene, they're all in the... And the two are in the hotel rooms like, hey, you want to fuck? He's, yeah, sure, why not? That's not romance. Rogue One is... I hate bringing Rogue One up, because I know some people just do not like Rogue One at this point. But Rogue One kind of had this interesting thing about a relationship kind of thing. As Jyn Erso and Cassian, you really... There's no kissing at all. There's no, like... You don't really feel that there's, like, a romantic connection until the very end of the movie. And I'm not going to spoil about this movie at all on Rogue One, but I will fucking spoil goddamn Suicide Squad. But, yeah, that's just kind of the thing, is just like, they don't really try to do the relationship thing. They just, at the very end, they're like, okay, they kind of had some things. They might bang. Well, they might. This is just like, help me. Wanna fuck? That's a weird kind of thing. That's really weird to me. The editing, I want to stop. Because I've actually heard that this movie is an amalgamation of two different edits. The first half of this movie is done by a trailer company. I am fucking serious. Because honestly, I was sitting there throughout the movie, and I was like, why does this feel like all these character backstories are just trailers? And all these pop songs are doing all this shit. And you're just like, is this even the movie right now? Or is this like a little backstory kind of trailer kind of thing? No, it's the fucking movie, and then the final half of it is actually what DC Comics and Warner Brothers actually fucking made. Woo! It's really dumb. It really fucking is dumb, and I cannot tell you how much I hate it. So much. How much I fucking hate it. It's just like a really stupid editing trick. I guess since DC Comics sat there and they're like, everyone liked the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer. What's that? Let's make that half the fucking movie. Why? Why? You don't edit movies like a trailer. I can understand editing a trailer like a movie, but not a movie like a trailer. If you do, it's annoying. It makes no sense. It's just weird shit going on. It just really doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. I guess I'm wrong. So about that, but whatever. It's just like this really takes you out of the action. It is just really distracting. You're kind of not invested in this movie like that. And I don't know. It's just the editing really sucks. So I guess I'll talk about the other important characters that aren't. I think Let me think. Is that everybody? Except for the few I'm not talking about? Yeah, I think I got it. If there's a character I'm missing, I'll add an addendum or edit some, like, sayings like, oh, what do I fucking hate this character for? I'll talk about it. So, Slipknot. The worst... The absolute waste of a character. Like, you know, you market this character, and you're like, oh, Slipknot's finally a fucking movie character. And Slipknot's finally in a movie. Happy birthday, Slipknot's here. And then you watch it, and he only lives for 5 fucking minutes. I don't remember his dialogue. I don't even remember what he sounded like. I just know he fucking dies. Because how they fucking did this, was, I guess, this is where I can understand. I guess they got the idea for killing Slipknot. Was the fact that they needed a character to show that that whole bomb thing in all the characters' head wasn't a lie and they weren't fucking with you. But that quick? I understand, like, having, like, this talk about it's just like, hey, we should totally escape. But I wouldn't do it immediately. And I honestly wouldn't think they were lying. But Slipknot is just, like, also this really stupid character. It's a character who can climb on everything, on anything. Look, I know Captain Boomerang exists, and I know Kite Man exists. But a grappling hook shouldn't be a fucking power. With the fucking Boomerang, you gotta know the right trajectory. Kite Man, you gotta actually be able to be light enough or to be flown by a kite. Grappling hooks aren't a power. Batman has grappling hook. Batman is smart, and he's a genius, and he's a billionaire. He can afford more than just grappling around. But Slipknot, this is what I think they should have done better for Slipknot, is that they should have killed him at the first fight of this movie, whenever they're fighting all those, I don't know, silly putties from Power Rangers with genital warts on their face. They should have really killed him there. He could be like, fuck this. My only thing I could see why that's wrong, a bad idea, is like, maybe it'll create, I don't know, a reaction with the other villains. I have to correct myself from heroes. But it's just like, the villains. It's just, okay, if they did that, I imagine they would all look up. And that could delay the fight, and those silly putties could kill the villains. Kill, quote unquote. I don't know why I'm doing the air quotations thing with my fingers. You can't really see it. But, sorry. That would work. That honestly would make more sense to me, in my opinion. Killing them right away for just... makes no sense at all to me. Maybe even like, hey, don't fucking do that, and just like tempt them to come back down. But just like Slipknot is this worthless character, and I feel bad for the guy who played him. I'm glad I don't know the actor all that well. I feel bad for that guy now, and then I think about it, because imagine just like coming home and like the kids like big DC Comics. It's like, dude, I got a villain part in this movie. He's like, really? Who is it? Slipknot. Oh. Fucking worthless character. So, let's get on to the bread and butter. Or the meat and potatoes of why this movie garbage. Other than the fact that what it looks like, how it's edited, is really fucking stupid. Harley Quinn. Whew. Oh boy. Harley Quinn is played by talented Margot Robbie. And first instincts, I thought, man, she looked like the part. And based on her characteristics, hey, could work. Not a bad character, honestly. She did okay. It's the counterpart that I fucking hate. The Joker. The Joker is DC Comics, I would say, biggest villain. I don't mean by size, but just pop culture wise. And brand recognition. You know the Joker. Whoever played him. Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Mark Hamill. Don't know who played him in the 60s. I'm going to say Cesar Romero, but I could be wrong. I'll put something up on the screen if I do so. And I was willing to give Jared Leto a take on this. Because people were already like, you know, he shouldn't be playing. Mark Hamill should be. Mark Hamill's fucking old. Did you see him in Force Awakens? Gray beard and everything. He does look like Rey's dad. And it's just like, sorry, sometimes it's hard. It's just like, I was willing to give Jared Leto a chance because the other movie I've ever watched, the only other movie I've ever watched him, is chapter 23, chapter 27. It's the movie about the guy who killed John Lennon, and the weight he put on for this movie astounded me. I was thinking, this guy can do it, because this guy was kind of I watched this movie as a kid. I probably shouldn't have. I was waiting around on the movie channel looking for adult programming. Look, I was 13. You think I'm not gonna do that? You know, now that I think about it, I just remember this one. I was thinking about this one porn on there. It made me laugh. That it was like, so there's this actor who who wants to prepare for this role, and oh god, he wanted to prepare for this roles, so he moved out into the wilderness to really get into this character and be away from the public. So he hired his twin brother to stay at the house and act like him, and you know what's bad? You know what's really bad? I enjoyed the plot of a porn more than I enjoyed Suicide Squad's plot. How sad is that? Big budget film, Hollywood film, starring well-known characters, trumped by fucking a low budget night flicks. Something's really wrong about that. So, whatever. That's beside the point. The point was, Jared Leto had hope for this guy. I read about what he did to really get into the character. Really cringy. I hate saying that word. Really cringy. But then again, with Jared, he tried. He tried doing what Heath Ledger did. He isolated himself. He was in a hotel for most of his time. He was really considering how his character worked. And Heath Ledger came out with what I would say is one of the best performances ever. Jared Leto did all this weird stuff, like giving dead animals to his co-stars. That's creepy, but on a whole different level. If Heath Ledger did that, he probably would have done it a different way. Like surprise-wise. Put them in their cars. Don't just like give it to them. Straight out. Jared Leto's a method actor, and I can understand he really, really wanted to get into this. He did it wrong. And it's so terrible. And his scenes are unbearable, and it's just really shitty and really stupid, and I don't know why anybody likes him. And it's just, it goes back to the whole why people fantasize Joker and Harley and think they're the greatest couple ever. They're fucking, they're not a healthy couple at all. Joker abuses Harley all the time, and in this movie, it actually shows it. And you know what? I will admit, actually kind of interesting how fucking bad the Joker is compared and what he did to Harley for what little of a segment they had. Because you saw Harley was just like an innocent doctor or nurse and, you know, kind of fell in love with his patient. And then the next thing, she wants to do whatever he wants to do. That kind of thing. Whew, boy. They did it wrong. They could have done it a lot better, in my opinion. Oh, sorry, Skype. Click. Yep. So. Oh boy. The Joker's just, in my opinion, terrible. And Harley leeches onto that. And it's just kind of this weird. It's just this weird kind of thing. It's just like I said, they want you to like understand these characters. They want you to be like, oh, they're just misunderstood. Let me just tell you something. I know somebody like Harley Quinn, and I'm not gonna say their name. And based on at least this version of Harley, I'm not gonna say their name, save the innocence. But, yeah. So I kind of not understand personally, but I've seen this kind of thing. You know, she's got the looks and everything and all this, but she's a psychopath, like a legitimate psychopath. Like, burning at pictures of X kind of thing. And not even hers. Just in general. Scared the living shit out of me. And I know this kind of person. I know these kind of persons, and I don't want to be really friends with these kind of people. Like, I don't want to, like, oh, you know, they're misunderstood. They're not. They're villains. They're in prison for a reason. They're not good. And, you know, some of these characters straight up, they're like, look, no, that's the thing. No one gives a shit. We're villains. Why should we care? Why should anyone care about us? That's the legitimately best question anybody's ever asked. That's it. It really is. No one should care. I'm not saying prison people should, like, die for everything. There are some people in prison that are just misunderstood. Yes, that is true. But what this is they really try to make you... It really is a scene movie. Really is a LOL XD 2007 7th grade movie. They do it wrong. They do it wrong. The rest of the characters, I couldn't care less. There's like Enchantress's brother, who's the secondary main villain, or just the main villain in general. Whatever, it's fine. It was kind of cool, the effects. That's it. The rest, it's forgettable. The rest of the characters couldn't care less. Cameos kind of cool. Everything else, really dumb movie. The plot makes no sense, honestly. Well, not really. It just it's not well done. Obviously, it's just a movie about, we got to make this group of people who have all these, like, you know, almost superpowers to go fight a definite superpower person. That's like sending a really good sports star to go, like a team of them, like get the best sports stars of each sport and go fucking wail on, I don't know, Superman. Makes sense, right? It doesn't. This movie doesn't care. There is one moment in this movie that made me sit there and really question why they wrote this. There's a scene where Enchantress is trying to tempt the other guys. They try to tempt Harley, El Diablo, Deadshot into joining, and they would get whatever they wanted. And it's a vision. It's obvious a vision. It's obviously a vision. If you can't figure that out, it's a vision. Deadshot kills Batman. Harley marries the Joker, which honestly was one of the other moments I wanted to shut this thing off, is because how stupid it looked. Because Harley's already this demented at this point with the Joker. I don't think this should be a thing that she thinks, oh yeah, maybe finally this will happen. No. No. That is not how this works. But El Diablo's the only one, and El Diablo killed his family on an accident, and that's the reason I kind of understand this character. He accidentally did this, and it's fine with this character, and I understand him. He's just like, he just accidentally did the wrong thing. Can I relate to that? No, cannot. Well, accidents can happen. And yeah, he feels terrible about it. Instead of like, yeah, I killed my parents. I'm gonna kill my family. Yeah, whatever, man. You know, nothing like that. Not at all. But it's just like, they have these visions, and then El Diablo's the one to snap everyone's out of their vision. But they thought it was real. El Diablo's like, it's not real, bruh. It's like, no, he married me. I killed the bat. No, and it's not real, man. And I was like, what are they? Weren't they just said, I'll give you everything that you desire? And, you know, a little test of it. That's not how this works. It really doesn't. And it's dumb. It's just like, look, don't fall for this. And that would have worked better. But honestly, that's about all I got about Suicide Squad. I've gone on for almost 50 minutes about how much I fucking hate this movie. And I understand some people probably go out and like, okay, here's the reason. And you know what? I'm up for listening, because honestly, if you like this movie, that's fine. You're cool. I don't have a quarrel with you. I really don't. If this was your favorite movie this year, fine. That's actually really cool. If you really loved it this much, that's cool with me. I just genuinely didn't like it. And you know, I owe the guys who made the Grease movie, and I owe the guys who did Food Fight, because honestly, this is my least favorite movie ever. This is the worst movie I've ever seen. Nothing I like about it, except for El Diablo and Captain Boomerang, but they are just overshadowed by everything else shitty. Food Fight is just stupid and just makes no sense. It is really dumb. But that's the charm of it. Is just, it makes no sense. It's terrible made and everything. Grease, I like the songs in Grease. I just hate everything about them. I hate the characters. I hate the story. I hate all this kind of thing. The story that's been told 1,000 times. The motives of the end. It's just a really dumb movie. But Suicide Squad finally beat it. Finally beat the movie I hate the most. We live in a dystopia. And think about it. This was a movie I was somewhat hyped for in the very beginning, but changed my opinion after Batman versus Superman. What, time flies. So, but yeah, if you have like your take on something, yeah, I'll probably talk about it. Like, yeah, I can understand this. But if you go in the comments and say, no, you're just a fucking idiot because Batman vs. Suicide Squad's the best movie. No, you gotta give me like a legitimate reason why I should care about this. Sorry once again, something came up. So, yeah, if you like this movie, like genuinely like it, or even love it, that's cool. And if you have like a problem with what I have to say, talk it over. I don't mind, like, you know, discussing. Like, you enjoyed this and you see this side of the scene, it's cool, whatever. I don't mind. But if you, like I said, if you like to write a comment that says, you're stupid, you're wrong, Jared Leto's best Joker, I'm not going to take you seriously, and I'm not going to rebuttal for that. But yeah, so this was just a rant, and maybe this should have been done better if I scripted it out, but honestly, 50 minutes of ranting? That's impressive, and honestly, in my opinion. Will this video be processed and finished? I don't know. I don't know. If it's up on YouTube, cool. If it's up, cool. I did it. I made my progress. So, yeah. This has been me ranting about Suicide Squad. Story, editing, nothing's good. Characters suck. Except for 2 characters. Just overall, dumb. No, Disney didn't pay me to say anything negative. Make some fucking good movies, DC. I'm giving up after Justice League if you don't improve with Wonder Woman.